Welcome back to another episode of the MGM Experience, episode 3. So this morning I came across a comment that said, "You don't look mixed. Being mixed is based on phenotype. You just look black. You are not mixed." And I just looked at the comment and I stared at it for a few seconds and I was like, is this even worth replying to? So I deleted it. I kind of wish I took a screenshot of it before I deleted it, but I didn't want to keep any of that ignorance around. So first off, let's ask the question, what does a mixed person even look like? If you knew how genetics work, you would know even biracial people with parents of two completely different races, can have more black features. So are you going to say that they are not mixed because they have more black features and just completely deny their other parent? Same thing applies to MGM people. For example, I have family members that are a completely different ethnicity. My grandmother is a full Mexican woman. There's no denying that. My mother's side is full of Mexicans. You don't look mixed, so you're not mixed is a pretty ignorant statement. I think some people need to go back to school and understand basic genetics. Because I don't fit your standards of what mixed people are supposed to look like, I'm not mixed. Please be for real. Because a biracial person doesn't fit your standards of what a mixed person is supposed to look like, they're not mixed. Now, I always thought I had prominent black features, which I love my black features. I'm not going to hide my black features. I'm not going to hide my more indigenous features. It's okay if people think I don't look fully black, and it's okay if people don't think I look like whatever the mixed image is to them. From my experience, people usually say I look light-skinned black, Hispanic, or sometimes East African. I've had people say Ethiopian, Eritrean quite a few times. I get that mainly from Arabs and other East Africans usually. And those are all like African people. So it's like, yes, I know I have African features, obviously. I've even had people say completely random things like Filipina, Puerto Rican, Dominican, even black and white at times, which is all okay. But there is no denying that I have mixed heritage. Just like there is no denying that I have black heritage as well. But here's another comment that proves the hypocritical thinking that people have about mixed people. So listen to this. Mixed are mixed. You can't identify as black. You are, I repeat, mixed. Imagine if a mixed person said, I identify as white. Now you can see how a mixed person who identifies as just black is unserious. Just like Barack Obama being the first black president is goofy when he is clearly mixed. So what exactly do you want me to do? And this is exactly why in my last video I was stressing, and this is exactly why in my last video I was saying things like, forget what everyone thinks because they will never be satisfied about how you should identify and what you should label yourself as. And it's interesting because this topic is pretty relevant because I'm pretty sure people were arguing over Beyonce and the TLC singer Chilli. Weren't they like arguing whether or not they were considered mixed, which technically they are mixed, even though they might pass for black women, they're still mixed. And I'm going to be honest, I think when people talk about their experiences being mixed, it triggers some people, so they want to say things like, oh, you don't look mixed, so you're not mixed. This comment made a little more sense because I can see their point of view, compared to the other person who said that just because you don't look mixed means you're not mixed. That's just like a very uneducated comment. I'm still gonna identify with what I want regardless. I still see myself as a black mixed person or a black Latina. Comments like this one and the one I deleted are the reason why I grew up kind of insecure about how I should identify, because it was like, if people see me as a light-skinned and black woman, why was I still treated so differently by other black Americans? I couldn't understand why other light-skinned black women in particular and dark-skinned black women didn't accept me and still had an issue with me. You know, I kind of just thought like, well, if I'm light-skinned, how come this other light-skinned girl doesn't want to be friends with me? And I guess the whole monocultural versus multicultural thing could come into play with this. I'm not saying black Americans are the only groups of people that bully me. I was bullied by white people. I was bullied by Hispanics at times. And I thought that was just racism. But growing up, you kind of like internalize that. It's like, well, if white people don't like me and Hispanics don't really like me, or, you know, black people, your own people that you were taught that were your people don't even like you or accept you at times, and they're always giving you issues and problems, then you wonder, like, what's wrong with me? At some point, trying to maintain friendships just got so exhausting to me because I always felt like I was betrayed, and it just like got to a point where it just caused me like anxiety to even maintain friendships. So now I'm just like, I feel better off alone, but I do enjoy forming connections and like being part of bigger communities. I'm kind of glad you have the ability to form a community on social media platforms like YouTube, for example. One thing I really enjoyed was visiting the East Coast and seeing the amount of people that looked like me and being welcomed by the Hispanic community over there. You know, just being recognized by them was like pretty validating, because it's like, oh, well, you feel like these are your people. Like, you can actually have like a community here. Even though I'm not like Caribbean Spanish, my family is Mexican. I have family members that are Mexican, so I don't know anything about Dominican culture, Caribbean culture, etc. But it was nice to see people that looked like me. And, you know, every once in a while I'll have like Mexicans come up to me speaking Spanish. Usually I've noticed it's like the less Americanized Mexicans or the more indigenous passing Mexicans that will come up to me. So that's also an interesting thing about the Hispanic community in general. Even when I was visiting Mexico, I could either pass or I could not pass. I either got stares from all the locals there, or I would just have someone casually speaking to me in Spanish. So that was kind of fun to experience the different reactions from people. I'm sure even non-Hispanic Black mixed people can relate to this. It's like sometimes you tend to have a stereotypical Hispanic look, which is, you know, either tan or fair skin and dark hair. The only thing I have to do is be fluent in Spanish. Every time a Hispanic person will ask me a question in Spanish, I always respond in English, and then they look at me like, oh, you don't speak Spanish? Or I'll give them my best, yo sé un poquito español. In my next video, I'll go more in depth about my specific experiences. This was just something that I needed to get off my chest real quick. So what are some unique experiences that you think pertain to the exotical experience? When I say exotical, I mean multiracial people, biracial people, dark-skinned exoticals, and Caribbean exoticals, and Latina exoticals. Stay tuned, and thank you for watching. If you're new, please subscribe and like and leave a comment.